Welcome, Capricorn and Capricorn cross-watchers, to your singles and new love interest. So we're going to get where you are, where you're headed, what you need to know. And then from this deck, we'll get the next love interest for Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. And so I just want to stress, it's the next love interest that is interested in you. It doesn't always mean you're interested in them. Okay, and that will be, of course, timestamped. So I hope you guys have had a wonderful week. And, of course, thanks for stopping by my channel today. So, Cap, we have the Two of Pentacles here for where you're at right now. Okay, and where's Capricorn headed? Okay, so we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Six of Wands. And what does Capricorn need to know? So we have the Sun at the bottom. Oh, that's my big thumb covering it. And then what you need to know, we have the Queen of Pentacles with the Eight of Wands. So, Capricorn, it kind of feels like you may be feeling like you're on the outside looking in. Might be specific, but it's almost like you kind of have your face pressed to the glass in a pottery class or something, right? And it's almost like you have been, I feel like either it's been in the back of your mind or it feels like it's been more in the front of your mind. There's something that you've really wanted to do here, and I feel like you've been looking at it for a long time, but it's like you had to wait. And it doesn't, I mean, you're a Capricorn after all, right? So it's not like you were sitting around twiddling your thumbs waiting. I actually feel like you were, how do I say this? It's almost like you were waiting for something else to end. You were waiting for like a cycle to close out. And I feel like whatever it was that was closing out, it's not like you didn't finish it, but you definitely feel like you've lost your zest for whatever that thing was. I think we're just going to pull a clarifier. We get a clarifier on the Two of Pentacles. Whoops. So we have the Hierophant, with the Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So, just with the lightning up there. So the Hierophant usually talks about kind of like, almost like rigid structures, like schools or government, sometimes religion. I'm not trying to, be negative about that. It just feels like there's somebody here that is, it's almost like they're barking orders to you. They're trying to pull you back from, it's almost like, oh, okay, Cap, I feel like you actually have been dreaming about doing something and somebody else is trying to tell you that you can't. I feel like somebody else, whoever this Hierophant is, right? It's like they're telling you that it's unreasonable, that you can't do it, that like, I just keep hearing like they just keep squawking at you. I also feel that for some of you, maybe not all of you, but for some of you, this person may be trying to kind of overload you with certain work to remind you that you can't do it. To remind you that like, nah, it's going to be too hard. That's not what's going to happen. They seem to want to, they feel like they have like the magic, I want to say like the magic spell, but that's not right. They seem to feel like they have the secret to success, right? And it's like, and they're holding on to it and they're not going to give it to you and they're only going to give you little bits at a time because it's like they're the boss, they're the thing, and they're the one that's going to distribute it and everybody else is stupid. That's kind of the vibe that I'm picking up from this person. And I feel like it just feels like it's background noise to you. You know what I mean? I feel like it's not getting inside you. It feels more that it's like because you are so, I want to say involved, but it's not in the typical sense. It's like because you're so enjoying the, how do I say this? Because you're so enjoying whatever it is that you're dreaming about, it just feels like this person kind of can't get to you. I feel like whatever they're doing, it definitely feels like they are bringing some sort of attention to themselves. It feels like they are, it's almost like this person seems a little bit self-righteous, and I feel like whatever high horse they're up on, if they don't stop what they're doing, they're going to get, they might, I'm uncomfortable saying this, but I feel like if they kind of don't start to, or if they kind of don't stop seeing themselves as like knowing better than everybody, that things might turn around for them. Maybe not in the easiest way. It's almost like they might lose what they've been standing on. I feel like this person, like to be fair to this person, okay, whatever this thing is that they've got where they feel like they have to kind of make everybody do this or do that, it actually feels like it's coming from like deep-seated feelings of inadequacy, right? It's almost like whatever they're yelling to you is kind of what they would like to yell to themselves. That's what I'm seeing. So where are you headed? Like, hooray! We have the Eight of Pentacles and the Six of Wands. Capricorn, oh, that's interesting. Hold on for a second. Capricorn, I feel like there's somebody here that's a little, just, it's almost like they're a little bit too carefree for you. I feel like there's someone here that it's like the way the two of you have fun is very different. I'm going to be honest. I feel for some of you, you may be the Eight of Pentacles. For others of you, you actually may be the Six of Wands. For those of you that are the Six of Wands, I feel like you're in a place where you are, it's almost like you just need a freaking break. I feel like going back to this energy where you're kind of daydreaming about something, it seems to be bringing you a lot of joy because it's almost like you know that you're manifesting it. And I feel like you are, it's almost like you're enjoying the feeling of having the things that whatever that is will bring you. Going back to that kind of pottery example, it's like, it's almost like you're enjoying the feeling of drinking coffee out of that mug or having that nice fruit bowl or whatever you would do in a pottery class. And it's like, and you're enjoying that feeling. And I feel like somebody else here is, they just seem to be doing it in a way, they seem disconnected from you. It's almost like you're trying to get this person to see that it doesn't have to be as hard as they're making it. And I feel like for those of you, again, that are identifying with the Six of Wands, I feel like you kind of don't want to leave this person behind. You don't want to leave them in that energy because it's like you found an easier way and you're trying to get them to see it. For others of you that are this Eight of Pentacles here, it feels to you that you may have a bit more of a, from your perspective, it feels like it's a more mature, more introverted sense of enjoyment. It's like you would prefer to, whatever this person is, it's almost like they might be a little bit too loud. I feel like this person might be somebody that's a little bit too boisterous, a little bit almost pushy. It's almost like if you guys went to an amusement park, I feel like they would, it's like they'd push you to go on the ride, and then if you said no, it's like they would almost be showing off to you while they're on the ride, thinking that like, oh, Capricorn's going to wish they were me. Capricorn's going to wish they went on this ride. And meanwhile, you're like, no, actually I don't. And I feel like if this person does that, it feels like they're going to be putting a bit of a barrier between the two of you. I feel like if there was distance between the two of you already, that's going to make it worse, because it's like not only does this person maybe not, process things the way that you do. It's like maybe they don't express their joy and happiness the same way that you do, but it's almost, there's this air of superiority about it. that you're just not feeling. And it's like whatever this person is getting, whatever the end result is of how they conduct themselves, that is not at all what is going to make you feel happy or fulfilled. And it's almost like, for some of you, it could be a sibling, a sister, or something like that. It's like whatever makes them happy does not make you happy. And I feel like to you, I feel like this person may think that you're kind of a stick in the mud or this or that. And it's like they might be judgmental about that. And I feel like there's kind of a heads up here that it may be easy for you to fall into the trap of thinking that yours is better if you're not kind of aware of that, right? It's like neither of them is better, it's just different. And I feel like this person, it's like because you're not experiencing joy or happiness the way they do, they just kind of think your life is really unhappy, not realizing that actually you're happy doing exactly what you're doing. And I feel like if this person thinks that they're going to sit there and kind of convince you and you're going to come eventually, I feel like that's not going to happen. I feel like you're happy doing what you're doing, and this person, it's like if they're going to sit there waiting for you, then they are going to sit there all day. Because you're going to do what makes you happy, even if that is not what they want you to do, or if that, it's almost like, it feels like the energy of having to put your foot down. It's almost like, let's say, this person's like, oh, meet me for coffee at this bench at this time. And you're like, no, I can't. I have to do this. Or no, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of something. And they go and sit at that bench and you know that they're sitting there because they're emailing you. But they're texting at you and it's like, no, I already told you I'm not going. And it's almost like, and then they're going to get mad at you and be like, well, why didn't you come? I was trying to make something nice for you. And you're like, yeah, but I told you that I'm not coming. So if you went there looking for me, that's on you. It's that kind of an energy. And then what you need to know here, we have the Queen of Pentacles with the Eight of Wands. And I feel with this that something, it's almost like there seems to be, okay. From what I'm seeing, I feel like whatever you've done has earned a reward. It feels like it's like an ancestor or someone in the 5D that's kind of been watching. I feel like it's somebody, it's almost like, this is just how I'm seeing it, so take it as it resonates, okay? It feels like whatever this entity is, it's like they're in the control room, right? And when Capricorn passes the test, it's like Capricorn's bulb is going to light up green, and that'll be the sign to send the reward, right? And I feel like whatever you're doing, it's almost like you fast-tracked it. I feel like you may be making choices that would, it's like that you know that there would be a reward for, but the reward may be delayed because it's like whatever choices you made that green light light up sooner than expected. And it's almost like, well, whatever it is isn't ready. I feel like when it is ready, it'll come speeding towards you. It just feels like you may have gotten to that point sooner than the reward was ready, or the kind of blessing that came with it was ready. And I feel like there seems to be something here where it's almost like, yes, you're going to get that reward coming in, whatever this Eight of Wands is, right? But I feel like it's almost like because you got there early, it's almost like you'll get, you know how for like, I don't know, Boxing Day or one of those holidays. What's the other one? The one at Thanksgiving with all the sales. Anyway, where, sometimes if you line up, it's like, oh, the first 100 people will get this extra thing, right? It's almost like because you kind of, it's almost like you scooched yourself in early. You kind of got yourself right in the door. It's like you go in, you sit down, and the door closes, and it's like you're in that group that gets the extra special bonus type deal. It just feels like when this kind of bonus comes along, it'll come along in addition to another blessing, if that makes sense. So it's like the Eight of Wands will come from what you're doing now. And I feel like whatever this kind of extra bonus thing, it's almost like, you know, when you go to a carnival and you win, you know, the small prize, it's like you're going to get the next prize up. If that makes sense. I hope it does. So, for those of you with a Capricorn Sun, we have the Page of Wands here with the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So, just a minute here. Okay, so you may not want to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. From what I'm seeing, the next person that's interested in you romantically is the opposite of this Hierophant person, right? It's not at all the kind of person that's going to bark orders at you, that wants to control you. It does feel like it's somebody that isn't maybe ready for... I'm just kind of picking up this vibe where it's like they're interested in you, but I feel like they only really want or are ready for like a casual sort of thing. You know what I mean? It feels like the kind of person that it's like they'll enjoy the attention that you give them, but they're not willing to make, or they're not in a place where it doesn't feel like it's, you know, personal, that they're doing it to be any type of way to you. It feels like they are in a headspace where they're not really willing to kind of like make sacrifices for a connection. I feel like they may be too focused on something else. I feel like they know that they are letting something good pass them by, but to them, it's like whatever it is that they are focused on, they kind of can't pull themselves away from it long enough to see what's passing them by. It's almost like here you kind of come along, and I feel like you're somebody that could really help elevate this person, but they're so focused on doing what they're doing, and doing it in the rigid way that they planned it. It's like anything that would divert them from that path or could possibly cause them to not lose momentum necessarily, but it's like anything that could distract their focus, they're not going to let it get too far deep into them. So it's like, yeah, you may feel the energetic connection. It's like you'll walk in a room and this person will sit up a bit straighter. They'll notice that you're there. And it's like they'll keep an eye on you. I'm kind of seeing them sitting at a laptop or at a computer, and it's like, and they're kind of hunched over, and they it's almost like they feel you coming in and they sit up a little taller. It's like they want you to look at them, but it's almost like they just kind of want to know that you would be interested. It doesn't feel like this person is in a place where they can kind of give anybody anything. You know what I mean? So, for those of you with your with your moon in Capricorn moon. Oh, so we have the Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck and the Five of Pentacles. Pretty potent combination here. So, we're just going to kind of move some of these decks around. I feel like whoever this person is, they are going through it or are in the middle of it, right? It's like whatever they're doing, it is not easy for them right now. I feel like you do have a lot of compassion for them. It just feels like this person is... It's almost like it feels like a repeat of the Capricorn Sun person. It's just the reason that this person isn't able to give you, or anybody else for that matter, what would be appropriate in a relationship. It's like with the Capricorn Sun, if you didn't listen to that one, it just talked about somebody that was too focused on something else that they were doing and too focused on making sure that it was done in like a really specific way. Whereas with this person, I actually feel like they They seem to be keeping themselves out in the cold longer than necessary to prove to somebody, to stick it to somebody, to show someone how much they're hurting. It's almost like they might not even be in a place of hurting anymore, but they're staying in that energy. At least they're projecting it externally. It's almost like if they get over whatever happened too quickly, the other person won't feel bad enough, and this one kind of wants them to suffer a little bit. But it's almost like they may be getting to a place where um, it's almost like they're adopting that type of attitude as part of their personality, because it's almost like they've been faking it for so long to stick it to somebody else, that it's like they're starting to get stuck in that place of feeling like that's just how they feel all the time. And I feel like they seem to want you to pull them out of it. They seem to, hold on for a sec. It just feels like, oh, this feels a little bit toxic, okay? And that it's not me being, I'm not trying to be judgmental or anything. It just feels like this person seems to want you to come in and kind of help them and save them. And it's like they kind of want you to baby them a little bit. But it's not because they want you, or it's almost like they want you, specifically you, to have to come in and do it, because they see you as so strong that it's almost like they feel that it would be an extra special kick to their person from the past that put them in this energy. Sorry, I used the wrong finger to indicate which card. It's almost like they want their past person to know that the only way for them to come out of that really tough energy is to have somebody as strong as you pull them out of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it still isn't about the two of you. I feel like they would actually be using you to kind of get back at somebody. And I feel like at the end of the day, you pouring into them would actually be futile. I feel like to a certain extent, this person keeps choosing to be sad, keeps choosing to be in this energy, that it's like they keep choosing it and keep choosing it. And in choosing that, they keep choosing to be further and further and further away from people. Further and further away from their own happiness, really. So to their credit, okay, with the Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck, they definitely got their heart broken. It actually feels like whatever broke their heart, they are 100% not over it. They're not past it. They're still hurt. It's like they still feel like they need that last conversation where everybody gets everything out. But I feel like they may be feeling right now like they're too hurt to even have that conversation. So for those of you with a Capricorn Rising, I'm sorry, Capricorn Moon, that wasn't the best. I'm sure that probably wasn't what everybody wanted to hear. So for those of you with a Capricorn Rising, we have the Eight of Pentacles, so that's twice here, with the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands talks about that kind of wounded warrior card. Hold on. I feel like this is somebody that they're really defensive towards everybody, and they kind of wear that like a badge of honor. It feels like this person is, it's almost like they seem to, they want to be proud of the walls they've built. It's like they want you to acknowledge, it's almost like this person will show you the walls that they've built and then kind of either want or expect you to acknowledge and like be proud of them, be proud of the walls. They seem to feel, I'm hearing like almost this like game, recognized game. To them, you seem to project that same guarded energy, but I feel like they don't realize that maybe it's this kind of boss energy that comes off of you, but I feel like you're not as guarded 100% as they are. It's like this person may act very guarded, they may talk about it a lot, but I feel like they are uber sensitive. I feel like they are, it feels like the type of energy that really wants somebody to kind of love them, but I feel like they keep pushing away. It's almost like people try to get close enough to them and they take this wand and they just start like, no, no, no. They start swinging it around and they don't let anybody close to them. I feel like this is somebody that it would take a long time to get to know them. It feels like it would take a long time to get close to them. And I'm going to be honest, I feel like there's something that you find quite intriguing about this person. It almost feels like it's refreshing that they don't want to jump into something really quickly. What's really interesting is that this person is crazy guarded against other people, but with you, I feel like they actually, it's almost like they kind of want to open the door to you. It's almost like they just want to make sure that that you want them to open the door before they do. I feel like there's this real reticence. It's almost this energy of like, if ever you have been in a, I want to say like a friendship where it's like it could be more, if maybe there was, if like, if there was an element of the connection that maybe changed, or like, or there was, it's almost like life circumstances kept you apart, you know what I mean? But I feel like this person really does want you around. They really do want you in their life. I feel like it does seem like they want to have an intimate connection with you. It doesn't, intimacy in this context is not necessary. It's not referring necessarily to a physical relationship. I feel like they want kind of like a deep, open, honest, emotional connection with you, and they seem to want that with you specifically because they feel you understand them. And you do. I feel like you, for some of you, it's almost like you may understand them almost like a little bit more than they want you to, because I feel like you understand that maybe they want to be understood, maybe they want a close connection with somebody, but it's almost like the wisdom that you've gained kind of shows you that they might not be ready for what it is that they truly want with you. So for those of you with your Venus in Capricorn, I'm going to geek out for a second. Like, ooh! We have the Ace of Cups. And then we have the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck again. So I feel like this Ace of Cups person, they seem to be somebody that is coming in with an offer. They do feel like whatever it is that they're offering isn't good enough. And it doesn't necessarily feel that they think that like, oh, it's not good enough for you. I feel like they just feel that it's not good enough. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's kind of the person that comes in a little bit timid, a little bit insecure, kind of like, I'm not really sure about this. I don't know if it's going to be enough. I don't know. It just feels like this person, it feels very genuine, number one, okay? It feels like this is somebody that hasn't really had people listen or appreciate when they express themselves. You know what I mean? It feels like the kind of person that like they're gonna, every time that they get emotional, they're gonna apologize for it, right? Because they've been made to feel stupid for, maybe, if they're talking about how they're feeling, they might show it, they might cry, they might this, they might that, right? And it's not a like, oh, this person's gonna cry all the time. It feels like they seem to feel like they can be safe enough with you to express their emotions. And it's because you're not trying to explain it away. You're not trying to do anything about it. I feel like you just accepted that that's where they're at. And it feels to them, hold on for a sec. I feel like, I'm going to be honest, okay? I feel like they may want to push the romance a little bit too quickly for you, and I feel for some of you that may be a bit of a turnoff. It does feel like, it's like, what I'm kind of picking up from you is that it feels like if the two of you were to be together, it's almost like this person would lean on you too much. It feels like they would be too dependent on you. So it's almost like you may kind of take them under your wing. It just feels like at this time, the romantic interest from your end may not necessarily be returned. So I think I'll leave it there, Capricorn. If this reading resonated, of course, I hope it was helpful and brought you some clarity. I will, of course, have the mini love reads coming out on Sunday, so please keep an eye out for those if you are so inclined. And we'll see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.